I'm Amy Hunt, Implementation Specialist for Kansas City Audiovisual. Today we are going to explore the Tinkerine Cloud website, which is what you will use to prepare files to print on your Ditto Pro 3D printer. So let's get started. First, you need to go to the Tinkerine.com website and find their Tinkerine 3D Printing Cloud platform. So since this is cloud-based, it can be used on any type of computer from a MacBook to a Chromebook, PCs, etc. The nice thing about this is you don't have to download any software, so it's super easy to use. So once you get to the cloud website, the first thing you need to do is create an account if you haven't already. I've already created my account, so I'm going to click Launch Tinkerine Cloud. At the top left, you're going to see the Tinkerine Cloud icon, and then you'll also see Library, Slice, and Printers. By default, it's going to take you to the library. This is where all of my files live that I have uploaded when I want to prepare them to be sliced for my printer. You'll notice I have several files located here in my library, and they're going to continue to live here until I delete them. You are using a free account, so note over on the left the amount of storage. If you find that you are running out of storage, you can simply delete old files and just save them in your Google Drive account or on your computer. So I am ready to prepare a file to be printed. Notice all of these files have the .stl at the end. That is the file type when they are in a 3D format, but the printer can't read that. So the next step we have to do is actually convert that into a .g file for the printer to read and print. I'm going to use the bookmark file here, and over on the right you're going to see 3 dots. When we click those 3 dots, we have a few options, but the one we're going to work with today is Send to Slicer. So when I click that, it has sent a 3D image of my file to a virtual slicing plane. This grid we see here is the same size as the 3D glass plane on your Ditto Pro 3D printer. Before we actually slice and prepare this to print, we're going to go through some options and some adjustments that you may need to make. On the left side of your screen, you'll see several icons. The first icon is going to allow you to move the 3D image on the printing plane. If you need to adjust it, or if you're going to print more than one copy of these at a time, it's a good idea to go ahead and move that so you have more room. However, if you're just printing a single image, leave it in the middle and it'll print much better. The second icon allows you to actually rotate your 3D image. So you will see several little lines to where I can rotate it on the plane if it needs turned, or if I actually need to turn and flip it. This is important because when you print on a 3D printer, it has to start on a flat surface. If your image, when you first import it, it does not have a flat surface connecting with the plane, it is not going to print very well. So you can use this icon to rotate any sides that you may need to ensure that you have a strong flat connection for your filament when printing. The third icon down allows you to adjust the size of your image. You'll notice different colored blocks. The yellow block, when clicked and held, will actually take the entire image and keep all the perspective and make it bigger or smaller. The other icons, we have red, blue, and green. They're going to either make it wider. The blue icon will make it actually thicker when used, and the green will stretch it out in length. So if you need to adjust the actual size of your image, this is the icon you're going to use. Once you've checked to make sure that it's in the center and that, we've got that flat area to print on and you don't need to adjust the scale, we have an icon that kind of looks like a download arrow. That icon actually lays your image flat on the printing plane to ensure the best printing experience. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then we have another set of icons below. The first icon will duplicate your image. So if you did want to print multiple copies of these at once, we could duplicate and it's going to lay it on the printing plane just like our other images. Then we have an icon that looks like a bullseye. This will center your images. Now notice since I had two, it stacked them on top of each other. So if you have multiple copies, you don't want to use this. I'm going to select my first icon and actually drag this back over so I can have two to print. Then below our lay flat, we have an undo and a delete. So I don't really want two of these when I'm printing because I'm not sure if I'm going to like the design. So I'm going to select this and hit my X to delete that copy. So now you'll see whenever I lay my image flat or center it, it moves just this one icon. So I've made all my adjustments. What do we do next? The next step is to come over to the right side of the screen and you're going to see different menus. These are set up by default. We have structure, support, and then if we scroll down, we have speed and temperature. Usually the default settings here are totally fine and you don't need to adjust them. Okay, so I'm ready to slice. I'm ready to convert this file so my 3D printer can read it. I'm going to click slice up at the top right, and it's going to convert this image. So notice right away that it looks differently. You can see different lines, you can see different grids. So those are the patterns that the printer is actually going to use for filament and printing your image. You'll see the slicing settings are the ones that we selected, but most importantly, you'll see this print time and filament usage. Those are very important. That tells you how long it's going to take for a 3D file to print and how much filament is going to be used. I highly recommend that before you allow students to print, you have them send you a screenshot of this right here, this screen, so you know how long their print job is going to take. If I'm ready to print, I simply click the arrow beside print and actually download. If I want to make any adjustments here, I can click edit and go back and actually resize or make any other adjustments that I may need to. So this looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and click my download button and select download. It then puts a copy of that file on my computer. So this is how we prepare files to be printed on our 3D Pro printer. From here, the next step is going to be to locate that file and actually load it onto your SD card. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.